this might be a resource that's useful for you to use if you do already have organizational values, and actually you want to maybe evaluate how you use them, how you embody them, how they actually deliver some value for you within your organization. So again, I'll pop that on the screen. I'm conscious that you may not be able to read the text on some of these, and that's the idea. You know, obviously, thing is to download them. But this is an exercise really around rating your existing values. It's really about getting you to think about, okay, what is our value? How well does that actually fit in with a number of areas? And the first one of those, the first question is, how does this value actually act as a guideline to sustain pride within our organization? How does this value link to what it is that people turn up for every day, that the things they get out of bed for, the things that really motivate them about their work? And how does this value articulate that for them? The second question, the second column, is how does this value act as a basis for daily decision making and communication? So I think one of the things that when we work with clients, particularly when they've got a new set of values and they want to communicate them to their workforce, is to get them to think about, actually, why have you created these values in the first place? Now, that might be something that's been, you know, directed by the organization, or they've been given to them by the organization. But what are these values for? And fundamentally, organizational values or guiding principles, call them what you will, are there basically to help people make decisions, more consistent decisions aligned with what the organization is all about. So, for example, you know, if you have a guideline, if you have a value which is around something like integrity, then how does that drive decision making? And how does that help people to understand that when they're faced with a day-to-day decision to be made, or a dilemma, or maybe a trade-off situation, how does integrity, if that's the value that we're looking at, help us to drive that decision making process? So one of the things we always talk about when we're working with clients, and part of the work that we do with them with our big picture work, is to sort of operationalize what that value actually looks and feels like in everyday language, so that people can actually understand how that links to their day-to-day priorities and tasks. It's not just some sort of abstract word that sits on the wall that we only talk about when we're talking about values. It's actually there and present every day, helping us make better decisions. And then the final question is, how does this help us to balance making resource decisions and solving problems? So how does this value help us to sort of understand, again, when we're in a trade-off situation between what we prioritize, where we put our resources, where we invest our time and energy and effort and money, how do our values help us to shine a light on which is the correct course of action there as well? And again, you could add other questions to that, but fundamentally what this resource is looking at is, how do you really understand how your values are there to drive day-to-day behavior and decision making, rather than, again, as I say, we've probably all worked in situations or in environments or in organizations where our values are something that we've created. They're stuck on the wall in the meeting room. They may be kind of laminated on and stuck on the tables during meetings, or we may talk about them when we're having performance reviews. But the key thing is actually, are they part of our kind of DNA? Are they part of the things that we use to make our daily decisions? So they're the two resources that I've shared with you today. As I say, if you go to our website, if you go to the our QR code, the QR code that I shared with you earlier, and I'm going to have a go at sharing that with you again, which is, I'll pop it on the screen for you. Here's the QR code again. So if you want to download this or any of our other free resources, please, again, use your phone to get onto the QR code, or just go to the bigpicturepeople.co.uk /resources.